lawyers are liars, right? I mean, it's one of the most common tropes, jokes, misconceptions, what have you, about lawyers that exist both in society and the media. There are so many lawyer jokes that are predicated on lawyers always lying. Lawyers never tell the truth, right? The slimy, sleazy lawyer always lying to get his way. But how true is that? Let's talk about that on this week's video. Hey everybody, before I get to the heart of this video, I am reaching out for a little bit of help. So anybody that's watching this, I would ask that you do a couple of things, because in 2024, I'm really trying to grow this video and my Twitch channel. So if you could do two things for me. First, put a like and a subscribe on this video. Subscribe to the channel so you can get notifications on whenever I post a new video. You can check out the weekly For You Friday video. And second, head over to Twitch. Here's the web address. Go here right now and hit me with a follow, okay? I'm really trying to grow my follower count over there. I'm trying to make that a place where people could come by and just ask questions, chat about the law in a really informal content. I do a live stream every Sunday night at 7:45 where I'm playing whatever game I feel like playing, but more importantly, it's a place just to swing by and chat with whatever questions or whatever topics you want to discuss. And so I'm trying to grow both channels. So if you could do both of those things, that would be awesome. So here's the actual video. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you're having a great week and gearing up for another awesome weekend, one of the first weekends here in 2024. And I hope your 2024 is off to a fantastic start. So this week we're talking about lawyers and lying, right? It is something that if you've watched any movie that is about lawyers or that has lawyers in them, or if you've watched any TV show, you've seen this, or if you've heard any lawyer jokes, you've heard this. And it's this idea that all lawyers lie all the time to win their case or to get what they want or to beat the other side. It's this concept that to be a good lawyer, you must be a good liar. And I want to talk about that because, you know, you'd probably expect me as a lawyer to come out here and say, lawyers never lie, right? Well, that's not true necessarily. What is true is that there are very specific ethical rules that lawyers must follow. And one of those ethical rules is that we can't outright lie, either to a client or to a court. If we do, we are subject to sanctions, the least of which could be a public reprimand or a private reprimand, all the way up to losing our law license if it's egregious enough. And when I say there's specific rules, I don't mean that it's kind of clear, hey, you can lie in the right sort. I mean, it is very, very clear that you are not allowed to misrepresent a fact or the law to your client. You also have an ethical duty of what's called candor to the tribunal. You're not allowed to lie to the court. And even that even extends as far as you're not allowed to omit facts that the court needs in order to make a correct decision. So if I'm arguing a motion and I want the court to do a specific thing, and in my research, I come across a case that says the exact opposite of what I want. I mean, it says clear as day, I lose my motion. I have an ethical obligation to do one of two things: either withdraw my motion, say I can't in good faith present this argument to the court, or I must, in candor to the tribunal, bring that case up to the court and say, Your Honor, just so the court is aware, there is this case that says that I lose. Now, what I can do at that point is say, now I believe my case is slightly different than this case. It's called distinguishing the case. And you can point out why you think my case is a little different than theirs, but I'm not allowed to just ignore it and hope that the court doesn't find it. That would be an ethical violation. I'd get in a lot of trouble. So where does this idea of lying come from? Well, it comes from the concept that as lawyers, we are also ethically obligated to zealously advocate for our clients. We must fight as hard as we can for whatever is in our client's best interest. Now, sometimes, especially when you're a defense attorney, sometimes you're faced with zealously advocating for a client that is just exceedingly guilty. The facts are all lined up against your client. The law is all lined up against your client. The witnesses all say your client did it. The video shows your client doing it. And so as a lawyer, if your client decides, I want to go to trial, which is their constitutional right to do, they have a right to go to trial. Even if as their lawyer, I've advised again and again and again that I think that's a bad idea. So as a lawyer, what do? Well, we have to do the very best that we can. And sometimes the very best that we can do is we try to take those facts, we try to take that law, and we try to present it to the jury in a way that is favorable, or at least somewhat favorable to an argument that we're making. And a lot of times it's a stretch, and we know it's a stretch, but it's the only argument we have, right? And so again, we have to flirt with this line of it's not quite lying because we're not saying something that's not true, but we're trying to spin a narrative in a way that helps our client because ethically we have to. That's our job. And sometimes it works. Sometimes a jury sees what we're saying and says, I can agree with that. And many times it doesn't. Many times a jury or a judge hears what we said and says, I don't buy that at all. I'm going to rule in favor of the other side. Well, that's the system working. That's the way it's supposed to work. And I'll let you in on a little secret. Most good defense lawyers, when that happens, we're not necessarily super upset. We're not mad that the jury didn't see it our way when we knew it was a stretch to begin with, because we knew that was the best argument we had. We think the prosecutor did exactly what the prosecutor was supposed to do and presented the alternative side, which is much more grounded in reality. And the right side won in that case, and that the system has worked, right? So there is at least some truth to that idea that lawyers lie or defense lawyers lie. It's kind of based in that idea of we're constantly having to spin the facts or present the facts in the most favorable light. And when that is a really big stretch, when we have to reach really hard to try to do that, it can come across as lying. But that's not really the intent, because again, if any lawyer oversteps that bounds and they present facts that they know to be not true, or they present an argument that they know is contrary to law, they open themselves up to get into a lot of trouble. And so that would be bad lawyers. So yes, bad lawyers lie. Bad lawyers give the rest of us a very bad name. And that's why the ethics board and the state bar takes that kind of stuff really, really seriously. So hopefully that gives a little bit of clarification. As always, if you have any more questions on this or any other topic, make sure to shoot me an email, give me a call, or even better, swing by my live stream every Sunday night, 7:45 over on Twitch, and we can chat about it. So I hope to see you guys there. I'm really trying to grow that channel as well. Always drop a like, a subscribe in this video, and then I look forward to seeing you all next week. Until then, I want you to do two things. I want you to be good, and I want you to stay on the right side of the bars.